When I go to the gym, I see a lot of grown men just stop when their reps are starting to look semi-difficult. When their reps are starting to look like they're actually getting to the point where the muscle's actually going to make the most growth. Because they work until mild discomfort rather than actually trying their best. They're a bunch of pussies. They're a bunch of peasants. You might be one of these people. And that's because you're allowing your mind to be a limiting factor. Maybe you don't understand it too much yet, but if you just give me like 5 minutes, I'll be able to help you understand why your mind's a limiting factor and why you're so fucking weak. Your mind is preventing you from doing what you actually want to do. Because when shit gets difficult, your mind goes to simple things almost to get you out of the scenario. It goes to this weak mode to try and scare you away. For example, in the gym, when you start feeling a little bit of a burn in your muscles, you just fucking stop. You stop because that's the easy version. Your mind doesn't like the discomfort, the temporary discomfort that's going to lead to permanent, exponentially better results than you currently have, you fucking skeleton man. And you don't want to do the work for that. Or when you start doing shit in a specific sport, maybe your stomach will start to make you feel a bit unwell because your brain's trying to cop you out of the fucking sport. Let's say you're doing really shit at rugby, you can't even make a 5-yard pass. Your mind's going to make you feel like you're fucking sick. Like physically you're going to be sick. Because you're so shook at how shit you are being. And therefore, you're just going to take the cop out and leave. It's your mind. Your mind is your greatest enemy. When you want to jerk off, you allow your mind to control you and believe that you need to jerk off. You'll think of reasons. You'll think of reasons that are totally acceptable and not fucking excuses to try and jerk off. You will think of them. Everybody thinks of them. But the difference in between a man who acts on actual impulses of emotion and belief and what your mind wants you to do and what you know you must do and what you know you shouldn't do in this section is men with discipline don't do that shit. Men with discipline don't listen to their weak ass minds. They do what they are supposed to do regardless. Because that's the only way. Days of laziness, days of sloth are coming. It's inevitable. They will come. But you're going to be the limiting factor. Apart from your brain, which is going to tell you you do not need to do nothing today. You can just lay in bed until 1. That's what your brain's going to tell you. What you're going to do instead is you're going to get up and you're going to find shit to do. Take yesterday, for example. My mind wanted to do nothing all day. Didn't even want to fucking eat. That's how wild this extreme weak mind is. That's how severe and how weak your mind can be. It can stop you from fucking eating. Do you understand how wild that is? Do you understand how powerful that is? Your mind has full control over you. And it's going to say you're not allowed to eat. I don't want you to eat. But obviously, when you know you must eat, you eat. My mind wanted to play video games yesterday. But I didn't play video games. Because I didn't allow my mind to be a weakness. My mind wanted to sit indoors and watch telly all day. But I didn't allow my mind to gain joy from that. I instead said, no, fuck you, I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to do this instead. Your mind is the limiting factor in how much you are growing. And it will only ever prevent you more and more and more. The closer and closer you get up the mountain. Because the limiting factor, and I guess the gap in between the limiting factor and where it wants you to be and where you actually are, becomes greater and greater. So that gap from here to there feels substantially bigger. It feels like you're trying to combat a child voice with a fucking billionaire voice. You want to listen to the billionaire voice. The gap is substantially bigger. But it's a little bit easier to listen to this because you know it's the correct answer. You know it's the more mature answer. Because once the gap was only this big and it got wider, the greater you progress through life. And I thought of an analogy yesterday that's going to help you understand why your mind is so pathetic. You're trying to roll a snowball up a hill. And as you roll it further and further, it gets more and more difficult to roll it up. Because you're rolling it up a hill. Maybe it's not extreme, maybe it's like this, but still you're rolling it up a hill. The snowball gets bigger, starts to weigh more, but the top of the mountain is still a few miles away. What you can do is you can just stop, let it go, and watch it roll down the mountain, right? Roll down the mountain, sorry. And then you have to start again. Or you can keep pushing up the mountain regardless. That snowy mountain. Keep pushing up the mountain, make the snowball bigger and bigger, and once you get to the top, you're going to have this huge snowball. This huge, like, base of a snowman. You could also roll it down the hill. Rolling it down the hill is a lot easier, but then you're at the bottom of everybody else, and you don't have this big snowball at the top of the hill, the top of the mountain, that nobody else has, apart from you, and maybe a few of your brothers who also climbed up there with you, just like the people inside of my Discord, link below. Your mind is a limiting factor, because you've allowed it to be for so fucking long. When your parents were raising you, maybe this is different now if you're that fucking young, but when your parents were raising you, they used to have fights with you, intentionally. And I'm not saying like physical altercations, I'm saying like mental warfare. They decide, I'm taking the fight to you because I want you to learn this. You need to go to bed now because I'm trying to teach you a circadian rhythm, for example. And you wouldn't want to go to bed, but your parents would force you to go to bed and take the tantrum that you were going to have because you're 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7. They would take the risk of you having that tantrum to say, you're going to bed now, and they'll force you to bed. And you essentially need to do the same thing with your mind. You need to parent your mind so that it's no longer weak and pathetic and childish. Because your mind will want to do dumb shit and stay over here, but you do not want that to happen. You want to be over here instead. It's not going to be easy. But you've got to take the fight. Because otherwise you'll never grow. And I'd like to repeat one more time. I'm doing a one-to-one on Sunday. Feel free to be there, brothers. Because if you got to this point in the video, you're a loyal fan of mine, and I want to network with my most loyal of fans. I want to keep in touch with my most loyal of fans. I want you to be there when I'm up at the top of the mountain. I'm still at the bottom, I'm rolling the snowball up. But the higher I get up, the more and more crowds of people I overtake. Think about it like a pyramid. Maybe I'm only here, and there's still all of these people and all of these people here, but I'm trying to get here where there's no people. The higher I get up, the more people will see me and begin to try and follow me. So if you're here early, it's a blessing, bruv. I promise you. Stay strong out there, brothers. We'll see you tomorrow.